My name is SangeetaMehta and you're watching my channel, My English Magazine. Today I explain to you direct and indirect. What is the direct and indirect speech? Direct and indirect speech is one topic in English grammar. And direct and indirect speech, when converting direct speech to indirect speech, then you will have to talk about verb, pronoun, and adverb. But where we go through the some following steps. Right now, I explain to you. The following steps is what's about direct speech. When we want to describe what sentence set one option is to the direct speech. We use direct speech when we simply repeat what someone says, putting the phrase between the speech. Paul come in and said, I am really hungry. It is very common to see direct speech used in books of or the newspapers, articles. For examples, the local MP said, we plan to make this city a safer place for everyone. As you see, with the direct speech, this common to use the verb to say said in the past, but you can okay, now I explain to you indirect speech. When we want to repeat what someone said without speech marks and without necessarily using exactly the same words, we can use indirect speech, also called reported speech. For example, direct speech, where were quite cold in here. This is the direct speech. And when we convert it into indirect speech, they say that there are cold. Here something changed. So I explain to you the change. What where is the change? In direct speech, where were quite cold. Okay, and in here, and in indirect speech there is they say there are cold. where change into they. There is some little bit of change. Okay, now I explain to you what's the little bit of change. Here is were. Were, here is the were. But indirect speech, they. So I explained to you about that there is something change in the sentence. Were quite cold in here. This is the direct speech. Were quite cold in here. Indirect speech, they say. The word is used, they say that. They are cold. This is the change. When we report what something says in the present simple, as in the above, someone we normally done, do not change the tense, we simply change the subject. However, when we report things in the past, we usually change the tense by moving it one step back. For example, in the following sentence, the present simple becomes the past simple in indirect speech. First, I explain to you. I have a new car. Here is I have a new car. This is the direct speech, and it is in the form of a present simple sentence. But when we change this speech into indirect, here I say he said. First of all, I change the I change into he. He said he said he had a new car. Where is the change? There are only two changes. Here is I. Okay. Indirect speech. I use I. But in indirect, I change into he. Okay. Now he said. Here is I have. In direct speech there is I have. But indirect there is he said. Someone said. And in direct speech I said. Okay. And indirect he said. I have a new car. He said. He had a new car. Clear? Okay. Now I explain with some examples, with some. This is the format about the direct and indirect speech. This is very interesting, and I explain to you now. Okay guys, thank you. You're watching my channel